Good morning everybody, שפע ברוכה והצלוחה, Parashat Vayetze. Vayetze Yaakov in Beersheba v'yelech Haran. The Torah is telling us that Yaakov Avinu is going out of Beersheba and is walking to Haran. Okay, but we already know this, because last parasha is written, Vayishlach Yitzchak et Yaakov v'yelech Padan Aram Lavan ben Tuel. And Yitzchak sent Yaakov and he went to Padan Aram. So of course, we all know that he is staying in Beersheba and he's going to Padan Aram, to Aram. So why is the Torah telling us this again, the whole story again? Vayetze Yaakov Beersheba v'yelech Haran. So first of all, one of the interesting points is, there are a lot of explanation. One of the explanations is that here we start a new story. Here is the beginning of the building of the Beit HaYehudi, of the Jewish home. And this is an important stage, and we see what's happening. And a big lesson for us to learn, we have this famous dream, the ladder, Chalom HaSulam. That's one of the most famous dreams in the Bible, and maybe also one of the important ones, because this is really telling us what is our job here in this earth, on earth. And it starts with Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov is living in Beersheba. The Midrashim say that we do the counting of how old he was, etc. We find out 14 years are missing. And they said that those 14 years he was in the yeshiva from Shem and Ever. Okay, so now this guy, Yaakov, is leaving the yeshiva and is going to Haran. Now, he is all spiritual. Like, he is elevated from those years in the yeshiva, 14 years learning. And of course, it's also, we know all that he's a tzaddik, Yaakov Avinu. And suddenly he realizes that he is going to the most impure place in the world, to the house of his uncle Lavan, to find a wife in this place. Something doesn't tick. And the Torah is telling us, Vayifga b'makom. Vayifga is a very interesting. They say that he got to the place, but Vayifga is like more like he hit the place, or when you know there is an accident, the car hit me, Pagabi, I hit him. It's something not very nice. Vayifga. The language, the phrase Vayifga, it's not exactly telling us that he got to a certain place and suddenly he had to stop or whatever. It's more like he hit the place. And really, when we look at all the commentators and what they explain to us, it's unbelievable. What is happening here is, suddenly when he realizes where he has to go, he says, 1 minute, this is impossible. Vayifga b'makom, it hits him, the idea that he has to build the Jewish home in the most impure place in the world. This is unacceptable, not logical. He doesn't understand what's going on. It's like the Midrash says, a wall got in his face and he hit the wall like, what's going on here? And then, Vayalen Sham ki ba'ashemesh, God brings down the sun before the time because he wants him to sleep there. And then he dreams this famous dream, Chalom HaSulam. ויקח מאבני המקום, ויעשה מראשותיו, וישכב במקום ההוא, ויחלום, והנה סולם מוצב ארצה, וראשו מגיע שמיימה, והנה מלאכי אלוקים עולים ויורדים בו. And he's dreaming the dream of the ladder. And the ladder stands on earth and goes up to heaven. And the angels are going up and down on this ladder, and the Hashem nitzav alav, והנה Hashem nitzav, and God is up there on the ladder. What exactly is God trying to tell him? And he realizes the picture. God is telling him, if you think that you came to this world to be a spiritual guy, you're wrong. Yes, you have to be spiritual, but together with the connection with the physical side. Because the man is built from soul and body. And this is the idea, to combine both. Now, if you think that your job here is sitting in the yeshiva and learning the whole day and night and not doing anything but being spiritual, you're wrong. I brought you to this world in order to do. Olam HaMaaseh, that's the world that you have to do things. What to do? To build. It starts to build the Jewish home, which is going to elevate all the earthly things, all the physical things up to heaven. Okay, now you have to understand another point. This thing you cannot just do in your yeshiva or in a very, very good environment of tzaddikim, because it's not going to hold. Because in the generation to come, Am Yisrael is going to stand in front of big difficulties in life, big problems. And if they will not have the solid foundation to stand through all the troubles, they could not survive. So in order to build the Jewish home, yes, you have to go to the most, let's say, impure place in the world. You know, the Onkelos is explaining, says, the leather stands on earth, says Onkelos, na'utz be'ara. The leather is stuck inside earth. And we have a lot of explanation for this. And one that is connected to what we're saying now is that God is telling him, yes, in order to build good foundation, good roots that will stand against everything, you have to start from the lowest point. It's like when you are, let's say, a soldier. So you have the soldier that sits in the office and they have very easy training. But this is not the main job in the army. The main job in the army is the special units. And when you're in a special units, you go through very hard training in order to make you a good soldier. In other words, the more difficult you are confronting, you have in front of you, the more you have to build your base in order to be strong. And it's going to be difficult to do it, but after you do this, nothing is going to move you. So you, says God to Yaakov Avinu, you have to climb the ladder and start from the lowest point in the world. And from there, if you start and you succeed, you build the Jewish home, that goes up to heaven, and who is there to make sure that you're going through it? Hashem nitzav alav. God is up there, looking and helping. What are the angels? Olim ve'yordim, going up and down, up and down. What does it mean? The angels are really the things you do. Let's say if you do a good deed, you have a good angel. If you, unfortunately, do a bad deed, you have a bad angel. And those angels go up and down. They go up because it should have been the angels come down and go up. Because where do angels come from? From heaven. So they're from up there. And here it's talking olim ve'yordim. First they're going up to heaven and then they're coming down. Because the angels are really being made from the deeds you do, we do in this world. Because the sulam is written, V'hinei malachei Elokim ordim v'yordim bo. It's not talking that they're walking on the ladder, but in the ladder. Where is the ladder? The ladder is in each one of us. This ladder that we have to climb on. And the deeds we do, those are the angels that are being created and going up and bring all the goods from heaven to here, if they are good angels. And also, it's a symbol of, in life, you have ups and down, olim ve'yordim, olim ve'yordim. And sometimes you can get to a depression or lose it. So God is telling you, as long as you're on the ladder, even if you go down, Hashem nitzav, I'm up there, I'm looking. The only thing is, make sure that you are still on the ladder. It doesn't matter if you go down, because you go up and down, and that's life. In life, you have ups and downs. A beautiful explanation that a friend told me once about the ladder stick in earth. And this is also very, very nice explanation. It says that the meaning of the ladder is stick down in earth, the meaning is the foundation. Who is Yitzchak? Yitzchak is the son of Avram. And who is Yaakov? The son of Yitzchak. So God is telling him, you see, you are not alone, Yaakov. You got good foundation. You came from Yitzchak and from Avram. So you are stick really with a very, very hard and stable roots inside earth. Stick there. Nothing is going to move you. And this is the tree you're climbing on. This is the ladder you climb on. The ladder that starts not here from you, but from Avram and Yitzchak. Great powers. And this is the ladder we've got. This is built from Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So Yaakov Avinu realizes that yes, in order to build the Jewish home, he has to start from this terrible place from the house of Laban. And when he realizes it, he wakes up in the morning, and those stones he gathered around him, suddenly they are one stone. And here there are also very beautiful explanation, and one of them is that this is really the stones of, let's say, Avnei Derech, the stones of the way, of the journey that Yaakov Avinu is doing. And in this journey he's bringing to the world the 12 tribes. So there were 12 stones. And in the end of the day, when the sun is going to rise and the Mashiach is going to come and the Geulah is going to be there, they are all going to be one. And this is in the morning when the Geulah comes that those 12 stones become one. As you remember also, it's very interesting when we go to Torah, Vayichan Sham Yisrael ke'ish echad belev echad. Vayichan in singular, not in plural, meaning that everybody, all Am Yisrael were one. And this is the power, and this is what we have to, let's say, to achieve, to wish for, to be together, to help each other. This is the Jewish home. And when he realizes it, look what's written. After there's a lot of things to talk here about, for example, when he realizes that suddenly he says, 1 minute, God is promising him your seeds are going to be like the dust on the earth, and you will multiply right and left, and all the families of the land are going to be blessed by you and your seeds. And I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to keep you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. Because I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you till I'm going to do what I promised you. This God is standing there on the dream of the ladder. Vayikatz Yaakov, he wakes up and he says, wow, there is God in this place. And what does it mean there's a God? Of course there's a God everywhere. Well, Yaakov doesn't know that God is everywhere. But suddenly he realizes that God is even in the let's say in the lowest places in the world. God is everywhere. It's not only in the holy things, it's also in the earthly thing. God is everywhere, like he's realizing it in the deepness of the meaning. Vayirav vayomar. He says, wow, ma nora hamakom hazeh, this is an unbelievable place. En ze ki im bet HaKnesset, the house of God. And this is the place really of the temple of Beit HaMikdash. And they say that the stone is Even HaShtiyah. This is the central stone that was in the Kodesh HaKodashim, in the Beit HaMikdash. And what is also the house of God? God is telling him, your mission is to build a Jewish home. And a Jewish home is Beit Elokim, is the house of God. This is the mission. And in order to achieve this, this is your way. Those are your stones. Let's say, that's of the Avnei Haderech. I don't know how you say it in English. וישכם יעקב בבוקר, ויקח את האבן ששם מראשותיו, וישם אותה מצבה, and he takes the stone and puts it there, and he puts the מצבה, and he puts oil on it, ויקרא שם המקום ההוא בית אל, he calls it בית אל, אולם לוז שמאיר לראשונה, and this is the house of God. וידר יעקב נדר לאמור, and then he's saying a vow, if God will be with me, and is going to keep me in the way I'm going, and he was going to give me bread to eat and clothes to wear, and I'm going to come back to the house of my father, and God is going to be my God. It's also very interesting what he's saying here. He's saying here, what he's asking really for bread to eat and clothes to wear. Very humble. What is with health and all the other things that people need in their life. But the real truth is that Yaakov Avinu is very clever. Yes, he doesn't care how much money he's got and how many clothes he's got. But he says a very beautiful thing. God, you're going to give me bread to eat. In other words, I will have the power to eat. Because sometimes, unfortunately, people cannot eat. You go to hospital, you see people are being fed by liquids and infusion. That's not what Yaakov wants. He wants to eat like an earthy person. That's the same thing which he say also with the clothes. The thing is not the clothes itself what he's wearing. He says the power to wear the clothes. Not chas v'shalom be in a pajama of an hospital and lying down, cannot walk and cannot do anything. In other words, in this small interesting thing, he's saying everything. I want to have food to eat that I will be able to eat, and clothes to wear that I'm going to be able to wear. And we all know he becomes a very rich guy, which is also very interesting to understand and realize it doesn't matter how much you've got, and it's not wrong to have plenty, as long as you know what is important and what is not. And as long as you know that those are the means to get to the target, and that's not the target. The target is not the money, the beautiful house or the beautiful car. The target is to come together with God, to build this Jewish home that's going to be combined with all the other Jewish homes, to be together and to give to each other and to become one. And so, when he realizes that everything starts from down there, it's written, Vayisa Yaakov Raglav. And he's raising up his feet and he's going on his way. It's very interesting. Vayisa is to lift up. What is he lifting up? His legs. His legs are the lowest part of the body. In other words, he's saying, I understand now what I have to do. I have to start from the legs, from down there, from the earth, and elevate it up there. Vayisa, and he's raising up his legs, and he's walking and going on his way to build this beautiful Jewish home that we all know, that went through generation of difficulties and horrible things and good things, and whatever it was, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael is here, and this is all because of this beginning of Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu, who took the power and took the spiritual power, put it into earth and built this beautiful home. Where? In the house of Lavan HaArabi. Unbelievable to see this. And to understand, we get later on to the whale. Be'er Mayim Chaim. What is Be'er Mayim Chaim? We already explained. Mayim Chaim, water, life, water is the Torah. But unfortunately, it's covered with a big stone. There he meets his shiur. And you know, he comes to the people there, they're sitting, all those herds with the thing, and the shepherd says, well, why are you sitting in the middle of the day? Why don't you give water to the sheep? And sitting here, it's not right. It's the middle of the day. You should go back to work and give water to the sheep. And they say, it's possible. We have to wait for everybody to come, and then we can uplift the stone, the rock, and then we can drink. It's very interesting. Why did it do this? In other words, if let's say a visitor came, he couldn't drink water. This is also a sign of what kind of people we're talking about. And then Rachel comes. So he's telling, why do you not do it? And it's a big rock. And then when Rachel comes, suddenly, whoop, he lifts up this big rock like nothing, as the Midrash says. And the question is, why didn't you do it before? If you are so worried about the sheep drinking and the shepherd sitting in the middle of the day, so you should have lift up the rock before, not now when you see Rachel. What? Yeah, so you see Rachel, you see this beautiful girl, and suddenly you got powers. What's going on here? And this is also another important lesson. He knows that he's going for a very, very hard mission, and he needs all his strength in order to do this. And in Tfilat HaGeshem we say, Yichad lev v'gal even ma'al pi be'er. Yichad lev, take and concentrate the power of the heart, and took the rock up. And this is really what we talk about Yaakov Avinu. When Yaakov Avinu sees Rachel, he realizes, this is the woman that I'm going to build the Jewish home, Am Yisrael. When he realizes it, he gathers all his powers and he lifts up the rock like it's nothing. It's like to understand what it's all about. You know, somebody can lift weight and go to a gym and he can lift 100 kilo. 110, whatever, 50, 60, 70. One day, an earthquake happens, or a bomb, or whatever, and he is in the middle of ruins. And above him is the iron door that is, the weight is 200 kilo. Never ever in normal life he could lift this door. But suddenly, he finds the power and he lifts this 200 kilo door. Where did he find the power? Because he knew if he's not doing it, he's going to be dead. He's going to die. So he found the power inside of him, concentrated it, and he did it. This is, by the way, when you see those how do you say, those karate people breaking bricks with like 10 bricks, 20 bricks with one hit with a hand, hit with a how? And when you look and learn about it, you understand they are concentrating all the power that they have into this point in the hand, and zap, they do it. What is this part? What do we learn from here? What do we learn from here is that each of us has got powers. Hidden powers that we don't realize that we've got. And that's the whole idea of the ladder. Even if you're in the most worst place in the world, the most difficult place in the world, you have the power to climb. You just have to find the power. Understand that if God put you there, you have the power. You just have to take it out from yourself and find it and do it. And this is the big lesson for us. To build a proper Jewish home, to build a proper, let's say, nation that goes in the way of the Torah, it's not always easy. Malachei Elokim olim veyordim bo. They're going up and down, the angels. You have ups and downs in life. But if you start from the bottom, and it doesn't matter where you are, you have to understand, realize that dafka, from this start, from the bottom, you can get up there. V'rosho magia shamayma. And don't forget, never ever, that God is there watching and helping you. And if you think sometimes that you haven't got the power to do, try harder, because you have hidden powers, like Yaakov Avinu is telling us. I'm wishing all of us that we'll find the power to go and walk in the right, proper way to heaven. All the best. Shavua Tov.